are ready to go. Let me bring up the chat. There we are. All right. We're going to be playing some Tarkov, and if everything goes to plan, at least Pug would like this to go to plan, we're going to be playing Dota 2 to follow it up. I also have to join the Discord. Little last second here. There we go. All right, we're joined in. Dootin is going to be with us again. I don't know if we're having anybody else join us. It might just be the two of us, but we may have others join. We'll see. Yeah. I haven't heard from our third member yet.
And I haven't heard anything from Dustin, so he might be asleep. Yeah. He's West Coast.
Yeah, he is West Coast, so we do have to give him that allowance, the lazy bum.
Yeah. He says that he works, quote, quote, but I don't.
All right, let's get Tarkov up. So I know that both of us played it a little bit last night based off of some of the things you said in my Discord. So I was able to recoup a little bit of my money. I don't know, your luck sounded not so good last night.
I got enough to buy a med case, which was kind of like the next big item on my list, and now I'm hurting for cash now. So, yeah. Other than that, right now the only thing that's kind of like on my list right now to do is, and obviously I got quests and whatnot, but I can reach Prapper level 3 with a level up.
Okay.
So all I need is one level up, and I'm at. Yeah, I only need 7.5 thousand more experience to actually do it. So,
all right. Do you have
cool.
Do you have a quest that could get you over that, other than the one on interchange? Because if you're looking to make money, interchange might not be the best course of action, considering how often we were dying.
Yeah, I mean, I could find Wilston's.
Okay.
G-phones and broken battery. I mean, I was gonna say I could do the gunsmithing quest, but I need cash to do that. So
yeah, you do.
Gilded Zibbo lighter quest. So, I mean, I think if you're fine with it, I don't know what you got to do. We can just kind of do whatever quest you got to do, and then I can be focusing on cash and
Okay. I'm gonna do a little bit of a shout out here because I was watching this person a little bit before the stream, and I want to make sure I'm getting their name right. Yeah, okay, I'm remembering it now. So I'm watching this person recommended to me on Twitch. You know, like how you have just the recommended stuff on the side. Yeah. Her name's Glitzy Phoenix. She plays quite a bit of Escape from Tarkov, which is probably why she was recommended to me. But the funny thing, she sounds like Tracer if Tracer was a real person. Like her accent is kind of like that. It's kind of funny to me.
Can you shout it out? I don't know if she's still streaming, but if she is, I want to see that.
Oh yeah, she's doing a cooking thing right now. But let me.
I freaking love cooking, dude.
Let me make sure I'm spelling it right. I'm gonna pop it open here. Glitzy. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm doing it right. I'm trying to do a shout out command is what I'm doing here, and yeah. With my old man typing. Hopefully I did that right. Yeah.
Oh, the carpal tunnel in my fingers.
But it's just great. She says she's from Essex. I don't know England all that well. But I don't know if that's like typical of that kind of accent. But she's like, she always says love, like a lot too. She's like, thanks for the follow, love. It cracks me up a little bit.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And I don't mean that to make fun or anything. I actually, I'm trying to give a positive shout out. I think she's pretty cool.
That may have been messed up of me to laugh. I found it kind of entertaining.
Yeah, it's from an entertaining standpoint. Us Yanks, we don't get the. Although I don't know, maybe it's the reverse. Our Yankee tongue sounds funny to them.
Probably. Pug boomer typing.
All right. So as far as everything goes, I don't have a lot of room for a scav run.
Neither do I. I have like a bunch of kind of random guns that I can bring. I don't have a lot of gear per se, but I do have a fair few guns to keep me going. So
I want to try something out though. Actually, it'd probably be quicker if I just do search. So what I want to look at. Oh, damn it. Okay, so guys, I think I talked to you, Dutton, about this earlier, but if you're ever doing a link search, it can be a little annoying in this game as it works right now. What you got to do is you got to do a link search to the relevant part. So I can't just do a link search on the gun.
Yeah,
I gotta do.
I've complained about that before.
Yeah, I got to do a link search on the barrel because the suppressor attaches to the barrel. Now, if you have a gun like an AK, the barrel is part of the receiver as far as the game is concerned, so that's easier. But with an AR, the barrel you can interchange. So
yeah.
So I wanted to see suppressors. The only one you can do without an adapter is the rotor, which I haven't tried yet. What's this trade?
You haven't done the rotor before?
Have any?
It's decent for a budget option.
Yeah. This person's looking for 50,000. I don't know if that's a reasonable ask or not.
Yeah, I think I've seen him go for like 47 to 50.
I want to try it out because the one I'm using right now, it's pretty quiet, but I want to see like comparison, like how they sound. Like if is it the same or does it really matter based off the suppressor? Because that's something I haven't done a lot of research on. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick this up just for the science.
Sneaky breaky.
Oh, what? No way! I have enough space. What? It says I don't have enough space for the item. That's embarrassing.
I don't remember how big it is. It's
a 2 size. It should be.
Oh, yeah.
I just my stash is that bad. When I put the rifle in there, I don't.
Nikita, I got another thing for you. Include backpacks as part of the storage space.
Hey,
so I can just.
I saved myself 1,000 by bumbling.
Not only that, also include my character's body as space.
All right, let's go ahead and insure it in case I die. I think this is worse than the suppressor I'm using from a stat perspective, but I want to hear what it like sounds like, you know.
Yeah.
Slot is not empty. Oh, I didn't rip off the. Who's it? What's it?
Ah, yes, the famous Who's It What's It. Oh, I just didn't buy it.
Yeah, so stats-wise, this should be worse, but this is not a very good gun, so it's okay we do these experiments. All right, I think I'm more or less ready to go. I also have a gun for you, if you are desperate.
No. I have plenty of guns. I'm not worried about guns right now.
I'm probably going to end up giving it to you anyway, because it would be
Swear to God,
funny.
if you give me a Taz, I will.
No, it's your favorite gun, kind of. There's been some modifications to it you might not be as big of a fan of, but...
If you give me a stubby Mosin, I swear to God.
Well, I want to mod it up, too, because there's a barrel you can get that actually has a sight on it. And
okay.
I
will totally use a stubby Mosin if it has a sight on it.
Here, I'm going to show you the modification. So if you're watching my stream...
Yeah, I got you right now.
So you go to link search. The only problem is you cannot buy these individually, but you can buy them on the flea market. Like you can't. There's no source for it. But the 220, it comes with the with a site.
Oh,
that's actually a really good price. These were going for 20. You know what? I'm buying it right now. You have to run this now.
I do have to run it now.
You don't have to run it this second, but.
No. It's fine. I'll put the AK back. I'll bring some decent ammo.
That's the okay. Grab a. Oh, you don't have a lot of money. I want to give you a suppressor on it too. This will cost me a bit of money, but it's all in good fun. It's already loaded up a little bit with ammo. Let me get you filled up on that magazine so you don't have to worry about it.
Here, I got a whole bunch of Mosin.
Yeah. I just want to make sure you have a full mag because. Once you're in the raid, you actually cannot have full capacity because of just the way the magazine works, but...
Oh, yeah. Of course. Makes perfect sense.
Let me... First, I want to sell the old barrel, which is completely useless to everyone. I think I have to buy you the rear sight. I don't think that barrel came with one, unless the guy that sold it had one on it. So I just have to double check that. Because that would be a catastrophe. I don't think it has...
A little circle.
Yeah, it doesn't have the rear sights. They're going to have to buy that individually. We'll just do...
That's not it.
Yeah, it's not expensive.
Crapper sells them for like 500 rubles and a smile. 500 rubles and a crisp high five.
Operational weapons only. You got to get rid of that or it won't. What we need then... Oh, I need to do link search on the barrel so we can... Of course you have to do that to get the sights. What am I thinking? All right, so sight, iron sight. You need the Mosin carbine. Mosin.
The Mosin.
All right, we'll get that. And then we need your... I want you to run the iron sights first, because I want to see what they're like.
Yeah, I'll run it that way. I would hope that the stubby Mosin is cheap to run, to be honest with you.
The suppressor will cost me a decent amount of money, but once we're past that, it shouldn't. What's the trade on this? RAM and a T-plug. I don't have the RAM, so we're going to have to buy it. $927. That's a lot of money. That's all right. This is all in good fun. We'll probably have the wipe anyway in a couple weeks, so we're going to have as much fun as we can have with this while we can have it.
That's the only silencer that'll fit on that?
Yeah, because it's a special, like, custom job. Like, the only way you can get this without, like, buying it from the flea market is you have to do a barter trade with the mechanic, and he, like, custom saws off the barrel for you, and, like... So, like, the normal Mosin stuff does not fit. Like, it doesn't work. But look at that thing. And you know what? Why I got the idea for this? I was watching a streamer. I don't remember who. But they saw a hatchling. And they were like, oh, that guy's just a hatchling. The hatchling ran away. But as soon as the hatchling rounded the corner of a building, he yanked one of these out of his... I'm going to guess he had an Epsilon container. Because it's like a 4 size. He yanked it out, came back around, and tried to kill the streamer. And I'm like, that cheeky bastard. Because that's a perfect ploy. If you're a hatchling, you don't look like you have any weapons if it's in your container. Because if you have it here, like if you look at my guy, you can see it on my back, right? Even if it's not in my hands. But if you put it in the gamma container, they don't see it. So it looks like you don't have anything because you don't have a backpack, so you couldn't have a gun in the backpack, right? So that's so cheeky. I love that.
Sneaky breaky.
All right. In any case, I think we're more or less ready to go. Let's do our check. So medicals, we're good with that. Ammo, we're good. I didn't bring something I'm not supposed to. I have a key for a quest we may or may not do. I'm not going to go out of my way to do it. And then a backup ammo. All right, I'm looking good.
I'm just bringing some PKs and a splint, and then I'll be good.
Yeah. And you got your ammo, right?
Yeah, I got ammo. Where are we going?
You know what, though? With the suppressor, you might not be able to see the sights. I'm going to give it... oh, I didn't grab the rear sight. Where is it? I'm going to do a real quick test offline, just to see what it looks like for you guys on the stream, because I want to make sure the suppressor doesn't block your sights. So, because that would be annoying.
Same problem all over again.
All right, let's just we'll just do a quick little thing and then we'll leave. I just want to see what the sights look like. As far as I know, that suppressor is the only muzzle device you can use with it too. If it's a problem, do you want me to take the suppressor off?
It depends on how big of a problem it is.
Okay. Because I could use the suppressor for the quest I'm trying to do too, so it's not like going to be a waste of money.
Yeah, no. If it's like it makes it just impossible to shoot, then yeah, just rip the suppressor off and use it for your quest.
Yeah. Probably what you'd need to do is modify it. Oh, you can see it. It looks okay to me.
I'm looking right now.
Yeah, that sight picture looks okay.
Oh yeah, that's not an issue.
What is the 100 meters? What do you think the chance of that will be accurate? All right, let's just get out of this. I want you to get a 100-meter shot now.
You gotta be my spotter on that one because I'm terrible at judging distances.
Oh, you cannot adjust the sight. It is 100 meters whether you like it or not.
I know, that's what I'm saying, is that you need to tell me when it's 100 meters. Because otherwise I'm gonna have to like, up, down,
I can only rough guess it. I've gotten kind of better at it though. It's a lot further away than you'd think.
Yeah, that's why I misjudge it all the time.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I never realized this, but if you hold the sunglasses up at just the right angle in the viewer, they have like smudge prints on them.
These guys really need Windex, I'm telling you. All right, so we're going shoreline. Let's do 852.
The thing that bothers me about that is such an amazing attention to detail, and yet, like, yeah, I keep getting screwed over in the menus and shit.
All right. Uh-oh, that guy's a nonconformist. We gotta watch him.
Yeah, we need to blast him. He's basically one step away from being a commie. Nonconformity is commie, in case you didn't. It's a gateway drug, rather.
Now, the recoil on this thing will be massive, but I honestly don't think it will matter all that much because the fire rate's so slow. What does it matter?
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why in this game, these cut down motions actually kind of make a semblance of sense.
Commies are people too. Wrong. In fact, let me punctuate that statement again. Commies are not people too.
Dude with all his click-clacky noises.
Click, clack, click, clack. I'm going to get a Rubik's Cube too, just to annoy you while I'm waiting map to load.
Do Rubik's Cubes make a noise?
Yeah, they go like...
Are you sure you're using it right? I don't know.
Okay, it's not... No, the noise you're thinking of is... God damn it!
Alright, I'm in.
I'm still... Well, technically...
I'm gonna go hide in the bush, because that's my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, maybe you get lucky and some dude will spray at you with a 50-round drum mag.
I don't want to lose my valuable... I didn't insure it either, so... You better make it out alive.
Oh, God.
So the trick, if you want to put sights on it... I think you've gotten the rail before, so you know what to do.
Yeah.
Let me know when you're in, so I can stop hiding in the bush.
Yeah, I'm just loading loot right now.
The problem is the spawn we got is not really a good spawn to wait around.
Creating loot pools, and we'll be right in.
Okay.
Oh boy, it is a rainy day in Tarkov.
Yeah.
That definitely won't make me miss a shot. All right, I'm in.
All right.
I see your bush.
All right, come here.
Lewd.
I'm gonna give you your gun right away, so you actually have a gun.
All right.
All right, whip that thing out. There we go.
That's what I'm talking about right here. I'm gonna mess somebody's day up.
We'll have to see how effective that suppressor is. It's a good suppressor, I think.
You want me to try it out right now?
No, don't. Shoot it at something. Like when we get the chance. I mean,
what to say? I am pointing it at something right now.
All right, we gotta hurry up because there could be guys coming up behind us.
Are we still just trying to do your suppressor scav quest?
Yeah, that will do that initially, but I also have another quest we may do later in the raid.
All right.
I want the resort to air out a little bit before we think about it.
Spicy, sweaty. Okay, so if you don't want to talk about this, let me know. But this question was brought up on my stream, and I figured it would be kind of interesting to hear your take on it.
Okay.
Okay. So, according to the biblical references, Jesus can turn water into wine, right?
Okay.
And so I was thinking about that, and I was like, well, this makes it sound like Jesus would be a great guest at a pool party, right? And so, like, I thought about this, and I was like, if you brought Jesus to the pool party, and he took a wine glass, scooped some water out of the pool, and he turned it into wine, would that wine taste chlorinated?
I would say yes.
You think so?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. Would the water have to be fresh? Like, would it have to be good water, or could he turn dirty scum water, like swamp water, into potable wine?
Well, so that's what I was thinking about, right? Because if you're thinking, like, way back in ye olden times, it's not like they could have just purified water.
I mean, I guess alcohol has its own, like, disinfecting properties, but...
But I was curious as to whether or not it would still possess the chlorine, right? Because if you assume that he has, like, the superpower to molecularly restructure...
I mean, I guess if you believe in that kind of thing, then yes, it would just be good wine.
So, check the quotes that Pug just dropped in chat.
Oh. At first I was like, what is he referring to? I thought you were talking about, like, President Bush, but then I was like, oh.
I didn't even think about, like, just how close in proximity that was. Oh, God. Got me dying, man. I love playing Tarkov on your stream, man. This is so fun.
Now the question, Pug, are you going to clip it?
Where's Ursi when you need him?
I give you a nice, lovely timer up on the upper right to time everything by. I will point out my voice is a little rough today, so hopefully I can keep it throughout the stream, but...
You're not coming down with something, are you? I don't want to get sick.
I don't think so. I think I've just been talking too much.
That's how you get a deeper voice, man. You just stretch it and stretch it and stretch it until suddenly you just have really low amplitude waveforms.
I think my voice is somewhat affected by, like, I have a deviated septum, so... Like, I think my voice is affected a little bit by it.
What the frick is a deviated septum?
So it's when your, like, nasal passage is, like, kind of, like, not quite right. So for me, I can only breathe out of one side of my nose at a given time. It switches sides, but I can only breathe out of one side at a time.
I thought the septum was in the ear.
I don't know.
Clearly, my medical degree is not. Worth the paper it's printed on.
That's what I've heard it referred to. So.
Yeah, no. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just like I could have sworn like.
It's something you can get fixed. Like, it's a surgery you can have, but I am hesitant to do sinus surgeries because I know a lot of people that have had them and they've been nightmares. Like, despite the fact I can only breathe out of one side of my nostrils at a time, I can still smell just fine. I breathe just fine, so it's not really a big deal. It just, like, I can't swim, like... You know, like how if you go underwater, like the thing they tell you to do is breathe out your nose, right?
Yeah.
I can't do that. Because I can breathe out one side of my nostril and the other side of my nostril just gets filled with water. So if I try and do that, I'll choke on the water. So I have to plug my nose. I cannot do it the other way. So.
Okay. Now, has that been like a thing that's like you've had all your life?
Yes.
Or is that like a...
Yes,
okay.
I was born that way.
Okay.
But yeah, it's not a big deal. Like, it's not anything that I ever notice or anything. It just, it probably does affect my voice a little bit, and just like things like that pop up.
I still wish that I had a way to hear my voice as it actually sounds, right? Because it like, you know how it is with like when you listen to yourself on like a recording or anything like that. It always sounds different. Ooh, yeah, it's on the phone, it sounds different. On a recording, it sounds different. You know, out loud, it sounds different. It always bothers me. I just wish I knew how it sounded, or at least how it sounded to others.
I've gotten used to my own voice because I've been doing content creation for so long. I'm used to hearing it, so I've gotten used to it. But yeah, it definitely sounds different in my ears, and that just like through the vibrations and all the stuff through your bones and what have you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the weird thing too. Is that like fun fact about me that you might know, might not know? I actually hate voices like a lot. I hate my voice. I hate other people's voices. Obviously, it's not to the point where I'm like, everybody shut the fudge up. But I spent a year and a half studying American Sign Language, and it was awesome because I never had to hear anybody's voice.
Okay. I don't have that distinct problem, but
Yeah.
are you one of those people that go in the comments of people's videos and say, I can't stand the sound of that guy's voice?
No, I don't do that. It's more just like sometimes I wish I was a mute or deaf. That way I didn't have to hear my voice. Or
Oh, that's a bit extreme.
yeah, I mean, I agree, but I can pretend to be a mute. He said as the silence continued for 4 seconds.
Well, I don't know how to follow up that conversation because that's not a thought that goes through my mind.
I know, it's definitely... So I'm coming to realize, like, and not to a good point, I'm kind of a neurotic individual.
Well,
And I need to fix that, but... Is that normally closed? Yeah!
Yes, it helps if you're inside when you close it, though.
Don't tell me how to live my life.
Remind me to keep looking for cigarettes for you.
Keep looking for cigarettes for me.
It's good that I'm first in the door because I get all the awesome stuff, and you have to deal with the nothing when I leave.
Yeah, you know what I picked up? I picked up a Zippo lighter, a pair of pliers, and a measuring tape that was covered in moss.
I kind of hate to do that, but gunpowder is worth more than the Salwa, in my opinion.
I don't even do it to Steve from Gamers Nexus, and I genuinely dislike his voice.
Yeah, and I've heard you say that, and I get that, like, people saying that. There's WD-40 on the ground here if you want it. If you say no,
I
I'll
would
take
be
it.
happy to take some lube.
I get what you're saying with that. I tend not to be as critical about it, but some people it does drive them up a wall, you know, if certain people's voices, but... the one thing I'll say is a lot of people, like, okay, I can admit there's some content creators that I didn't like their voice at first, but you can get used to people's voices.
Oh, yeah, that's just something you kind of acclimate yourself to when you're kind of talking to that person.
The same is true with music. Like, my favorite band, Joy Division, when I first heard them, I did not like the sound of the singer's voice. He does have a rough voice, I'll give you that, but it's my favorite band. I've listened to him a lot, and I've just gotten used to his voice. And now I really like his voice. I prefer it. Because after he died, they changed their band to New Order. A lot of their songs sounded the same, like similar, because, I mean, it's the same band, more or less. But the singer's obviously different. So, I don't know. I like the... I mean, obviously, he was the one that was writing the songs, too, so there's a different tone there, but...
I'm trying to think, like, for example, like, I knew this guy, like, and there's, like, something, too, to be said about, like, just... You ever met somebody whose voice does not match
TP on the floor, pliers on the table. Yeah, go ahead.
I picked up the TP. But have you ever met somebody whose voice did not match their body? Like, that sounds messed up, but, like, that's exactly what I mean. Because, for example... Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. I was going to say, I've gotten that from people. Like, for the longest time when I did content creation, I did not have a face cam. And then I started streaming, and I have face cam regularly. And people that have been watching my YouTube content started commenting, oh, that's what you look like. And I get the vibe from a lot of the comments that it's like, oh, like, I didn't expect you to look like that. As a matter of fact, I think I've heard that direct comment. Like, I didn't expect you to look like what you look like.
So, like, the key one I saw was that I knew a guy who... Like, if you put aside the fact that he wasn't really, he's not a bad person, but he's just kind of got a few screws loose in the common sense department. but I kid you not, he was like maybe 5'5".
Where are you right
maybe.
now?
I just exited the house. You're heading to the door.
Yeah, I'm at the shop.
Yeah, but yeah, he was like 5'5" maybe, and he had a voice that was deeper than mine. Like,
Yeah, the reason why I asked is I'm hearing footsteps and I wanted to make sure they were yours.
yeah, I'm coming up behind.
Tashanka on the counter there. That's worth like 9 grand. So
Yeah, I'll take that.
TP is worth like almost. I think it's like 3-4 somewhere around there. You sell
Oh,
it.
and a Slickers bar. I'm gonna eat that.
Yeah, see, I need to let Dutton get a little bit of money here. As much as my greed will make me grab things here, I should let him do a little bit of looting here. Like,
You need all the beard oil.
oh yeah,
that
if I see a
beard
beard oil, F you, you're not getting that.
I believe I heard someone explain to me how your brain makes expectations based on what you hear and or see.
You hear those gunshots?
I do, yeah, but they're far off in the distance, so I'm not talking about.
They don't sound off in the distance to me, but I've got comms on.
Oh, yeah, I don't got contacts on.
These are, according to Daddy, these are the best ones that I have right now.
Oh, the sword-in ones? Yeah, I got
Yeah.
a pair of those.
You have them on right now?
No, not on.
Okay.
In my stash.
Quiet Village.
Ooh, that was closer.
That sounds like it's maybe at Scab Island, do you think?
No, that sounds closer than that. Almost dead ahead.
What would they be shooting at, though?
Not too sure. They might be engaging in the hills, possibly.
Could be. That's possibly a good call. You think they'd be coming this way, or?
Maybe. I'm not too sure on that one.
Junk. I'll let you have whatever's in there.
Oh boy.
Because I'm so gracious. It helps that it was complete
your
junk.
graciousness managed to get me? An AKM front sight, a muzzle brake, and a 10-round mag.
Uh-huh. Those are worth huge amounts of cash. Get the cash register though. I didn't touch it.
Yeah, I'm hitting up this chocolate bar real quick too. Whew.
Yeah, those shots
there
make me
you
a little
go.
curious.
High roller right here.
And the one thing I wonder too is like, what do people expect from me? Because I get this impression from people that they expect me to be like, I don't know what I look like physically, like what you would say, but like I expect people to think I'm super nerdy. And I don't know if I look super nerdy. I don't know. Maybe I do.
Yeah, I don't know. Like when I remember because when I first saw you, what you looked like, it was your it was one of your videos where you were explaining, like, I think you were explaining how a rifle worked, and you had the rifle in your hand, and you're like showed it off and explaining it. And I was like, huh, I don't know. I don't know what I expected, but that wasn't it.
Yeah.
I think it's the beard. The beard is what it is. Like if
That
you didn't have the beard, I think you'd probably look pretty nerdy.
The other possibility is maybe they think I'm younger than I am.
Yeah, no, that's probably it.
That's
the
probably
same
one of the things.
That's the same thing with like Mathis Games. Like his voice is like you'd expect him to be a lot younger than he is, and yet he's like, isn't he like 31?
He might be more my age.
He's a lot older than you'd think. He's got a youthful voice.
Yeah, I think he might be my age, which 34, 35. I'm 34, so I think he's my age. From just the anecdotes I've heard him say, I think he's about my age. I know he's older than Northern Lion, who's, I think, 30?
Yeah, he's 30 now.
Yeah, so we're gonna hit up this village to keep getting you loot.
Yeah. Oh, wait, you're not a mouse with a gun in real life?
Alright.
The man you see on the... You ever watch Ratatouille? The man you see on the screen is not actually Mouse.
I've only seen a little bit of that movie.
Oh, yeah? How much would you say? Do you get the premise of it?
I think I saw the beginning third, maybe?
Yeah, basically, like, the mouse gets on top of the... Like, underneath the guy's
I know the
ship
premise.
hat.
Yeah, I got that.
And controls them by pulling his hair.
So there's a toolbox in that big box too.
Yeah, I'm hitting them up.
Oh
There's
wow,
just,
my
like,
hydration is really low. What the hell? Do you have a drink?
I do not have a drink.
I just got a green tea, which is not a lot, but let's
Yeah, it's like 20.
hopefully we can find something because you probably need it at this point.
Yeah, especially after that Snickers bar. That Snickers bar put
here,
me
let's go through the
50%
back
closer
here.
to death.
There's a door that opens out. I'm taking you to what I consider the most important house in this village.
Is it the manor?
No, it's this one up here. The manor is technically the most important one, but it's locked. Unless somebody opens it for you, it's going to be locked.
Oh, that's weird.
But this one...
you may have mentioned that to me and I just forgot because I'm a forgetful person.
Yeah, you have to have a key for it, and I don't know where the key spawns. Okay. So this has 3 duffels in it and 2 coats, so I consider it to be pretty valuable.
I'll hit up the coats real quick.
Yeah, I just want to clear the building, because I've been killed in this building before.
I just
Looks
want some
clear.
Wilstons, man. Just want some Wilstons. Come on. You're
So
gonna
far,
kill
I'm just
yourself
getting
slowly.
bolts in the bags, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I found screw nuts and like a. I think I found a set of matches too while I was in there.
Yeah, and there's nothing in this other bag, so we're getting kind of hosed on the loot here.
Ah, here we go. I got some pomegranate juice.
Yeah, go ahead and...
Got some oat flakes too if you're hungry.
Nah, I'm good.
All right.
What's the timer? 41. Oh, big lag. I think there's a medical bag in one of these. I want to say this one. Yeah, there it is.
Yes.
I'll let you have
It's
it.
so dark in here. Can't see anything.
Over here.
Damn.
I don't have a laser to point at things.
Here, I see you.
Okay, right here.
There it is.
Oh, there's a jacket
there we
here. I
go.
didn't even know that was there. It is
There's
dark in here, man.
A
All right.
Salawa.
That's good.
Yeah,
Sellers are always good loot.
Yeah. You know what? Hey, I got a car kit at 200 that I'm going to drop off in here if you want it. 'Cause there's an extra car kit.
I'll take it. Are you starting to get full?
Yeah, I'm full up on space here.
All right. I am totally not, but I have a really big backpack, so...
I have a bunch of like junk loot, like bolts and measuring tapes and stuff. only 'cause I
Scav?
don't-
I think I got him.
At the top of the hill?
Yeah, he dropped. I don't know if he just went prone, though. He could still be alive.
Here, let's see if we can take him out.
He either dropped immediately or he went prone. I can't tell you which.
Here, I'll circle around here. You dropped him.
Where is he?
He's on the ground right here.
What's on there?
Oh, he's not dead.
He's alive! He's alive!
Hopefully you didn't get that kill.
No, probably not.
I got it. I knew there was a possibility he just went prone. There's a better backpack on him. No, that's an army
No,
bag.
no. That's a garbage backpack. Ooh, but he's got condensed milk. So that's fine. You want his toss?
No thanks.
I'll take it anyway, just in case.
Let's top off ammo here. Yeah, I thought there was a possibility he just went prone.
Yeah, good call on that one.
Okay, I'm just gonna check his body just to get the experience from checking him, because you get a lot of experience from checking a body, even if you don't loot anything.
Yeah,
Just for guys
I'll
that
take-
have never seen. You didn't check his pockets, did you?
I did not. Are you about to say he has a lab key card in there?
No, he had Vaseline, which you might have wanted.
No.
It was half used, but that's still pretty good.
See, you make that joke, Bajarabi, but I'm telling you right now, there's something going on with these cults, and vampires could be it.
Well, I mean, there's hackpires.
Hackpires?
It's a reference to a guy called Argyle Alligator. He did content of Rust a long time ago that I watched a bit of, and there was a lot of hackers in Rust at the time, and he called the hackers hackpires because they have supernatural powers. So we definitely have hackpires, and
it'll have to be added into the next wipe. Halloween event. I don't think they celebrate Halloween shit, but
all right. So you didn't get a better bag, so you're gonna be full up on loot. I was thinking about going to the power station, but
we can hit up other stations for loot because literally everything that's in my backpack is just junk that I'm gonna sell when I get back.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, and when I say junk, I mean like measuring tapes and piles of bolts.
Like, what I want to do is I want to go to the power station, see if we got any easy scab kills there, and then I want to try and maybe go up to the resort, because I do have a quest to pick something up. But yeah, they kind of do. There's a little bit of a debate. This is something that Pestely's been like going on about. Pestely is a Tarkov streamer. They attempt to do realism, but it's not really realistic. And he got like kind of mad at his chat for that. I probably shouldn't speak of another streamer, but I love Pestely, but he's been having a hard time with hardcore lately. So for those of you that don't know, hardcore mode is this like self-imposed rule set that some of the players that play this game a lot do. And I'll just go over the rules because I don't know if have you ever heard of hardcore mode?
No, I didn't even know that was a thing until today.
Yeah, so
the game's hard enough as it is.
Yeah, so what they do is you can't use the dealers at all. The only thing you can do with them is barter with them. You have to barter for everything. You cannot spend money to buy anything. You cannot use the flea market. You cannot use scav raids. You cannot use your lockbox for anything other than keys, and that does not include key cards. I think that's most of them. So
why would you do this to yourself?
Yeah, so the main idea, and then they have a main objective. So this is the thing that Deadly Slob invented, and then this is his 4th season doing it. So it's the 4th time he's done it, and he has an objective every time because otherwise, you have to give something for yourself to do. So their objective this time is to get, and this is Pestely and Deadly Slob are doing it together. You are so close to me, you're like bumping into me. I'm trying to get a view of see if the sniper scab is up, but like I keep bumping into you. Yeah, so Pestely and Deadly Slob are doing it together, and their objective is to get through the Punisher series.
Oh, the quest line, yeah.
Yeah, so they have to do all of the Punisher things, which is, he's at a point where he's really hitting a hard wall. I think it's Punisher Part 6.
I don't see the sniper scab up there.
Yeah, and I don't see any scabs either, so I'm just going to back off.
You're going to back off? You don't want to go down there?
Yeah, I want to go to the terminal. There's usually like guaranteed scabs there, and it's a little less dangerous in my opinion.
All right. I hope to God they come out with a change to the hydration system, though, because this is starting to piss me off.
Yeah, it's a little on the fast side.
Like, even in the scope of the game, like, I know that the time goes by super quickly in the game, but even in the scope of the game, it, like, you'd have to be in raid for, like, 3 hours before you'd actually die. In an equivalent time.
Well, yeah, I get you. In theory, somebody can go without hydration for a few days, but I don't know how that changes with high activity. Okay, I'm just going to peek up here to see if there's anything.
I'm picking up. I got a dead body.
Yeah, I see it too.
Oh, I got 2 dead bodies.
Yeah, so somebody's already been through this. All right, that sucks. What we'll do is we'll loot it up. But yeah, it looks like somebody already killed all these dudes.
This guy's got a rig on him. Let's see what kind of rig he's got. Just a black rock.
Okay.
He's got one of those garbage vapors.
There's another one over here. Looks like he's got a scab backpack, so if you want that, come on over. He's also got armor on him.
Give me just a second here.
It looks like these guys have been picked over, though. Oh, didn't look in the pockets, though. Classic mistake. All right. So yeah, over by the corner, back corner of the building, is a dead body with a scab backpack.
All right.
I'm inside the building now.
I'm moving over to the other side of the building here.
Looks like somebody's already been in here because I think one of the doors that's supposed to be closed was open.
Oh yeah, somebody's definitely been through here already.
I didn't really hear any shots over here, I don't think.
Where'd you say the dead guy with the backpack was?
He's outside the building in this corner. Right here. Like, see this building, the corner? He's on the outside of the building.
Oh, yep, I see him.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's completely empty too. It's got an AVS. I might actually take that.
Hold on, I want to read what Math said here. I'm going to go in this little building, and then I'm going to kneel down. I want to make sure I read it right. High activity levels and lower water intake. Your body produces anti-diuretic hormones, ADH. This increases the amount of water that is reabsorbed in the kidneys before the solution goes to the bladder. But it's not a perfect system. So yeah, about a day if you go about running with a lot of weight, like soldiers. Okay, got you. Yeah, I don't know that much about like that kind of thing. Like the... Oh, got Wilston cigarettes for you. I'm gonna throw them at you when you get in here.
I'm coming in right now.
Okay. You know what? Just so it doesn't fall through the earth, I'm gonna put it in the top filing cabinet.
Okay. Ah.
Where are you?
Wilston's. I just entered the building.
Okay, so I'm on the side door. Good,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
It's in the top filing cabinet. I didn't check any of the other filing cabinets, so if you want to go through it, have at it.
All right. I'm gonna put that in my lockbox. Just finding those is a ginormous pain in the tuchus. Ooh, a key I haven't seen before. The gas station manager's office key. Cabinet key, correction.
I'm not sure I understand that, Math. Like, the commissars would go with them when they go to pee? Like, what? Ah, okay, if their urine was too dark, the commissars ordered them to melt some snow in their mess. Ah, okay, so they would, like, watch to see where their hydration levels are. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, you want to hear a funny story about that? So, when I was going through boot camp, like a big thing they talked about was, hydration. Because it turns out when you're in boot camp, you are up for like 14 to 16 hours a day doing nothing but running around and exercising and a whole bunch of other shit. So they would focus on hydration, and in every single urinal stall, they had a placard that basically said, if your urine looks like this, you need to hydrate. And they had like the different shades of yellow. And what was horrifying is that all the way down to the bottom, they had like brown, and it was like, if your urine looks like this, you need to go see medical.
Okay, well, it should be all looted up in here, so are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
We're gonna go out the back exit here. Let me check real quick. What key, is this east side? Yeah, it's east side, all right. So we need to go to the opposite side of the resort.
Yeah, I'm just hitting up this dead body here.
I already did.
Yeah, no, I was just doing it for the extra.
Oh, gotcha. As in other words, you're dragging ass so that we all get killed. Gotcha.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm basically using all of your stuff, so.
I could be a paint chip sample. All right. I wish you had a scope on that thing now. Maybe you can put a scope on it later. Unfortunately, I didn't give you the sniper variant, so you can't put the normal Mosin scope on it.
I don't think you can put a Mosin scope like on a Kochitev version on this
You can if you do the mechanic one, because you take a sniper variant and you cut it down. But I took that's the infantry variant cut down. I got that off of Scav, so it's a little bit different.
Fish key a powder instead of a liquid. You just blew my mind there.
Yeah, I've kind of seen that. Like it's like a cloudy. Is it their pee, or is it like pee mixed with poop, kind of like what the birds do?
Ugh.
All right, I just put bad images in.
I just bird poo makes me disgusted.
All right, we should probably keep eyes up in case somebody's camping the roof.
Yeah, no, I was making sure to check and see, but I didn't see anything immediately.
Okay. Oh,
Scaff.
I don't know where that is. I'm just gonna chuck a grenade over the wall. Eat it.
Dead ahead.
Should I get another one?
Yep, I see him. I see him. He's in the door there.
Are you okay?
Holy shit, Mouse.
Did I get it?
I don't think you killed him, but you blew up some glass in the resort.
Where you are, you bastard?
Shouldn't be that hard to test the conductivity. Yeah, no, that's... He went into the resort through that door over there.
Well, if anybody's here, they know we're here now.
Yeah, now it's just all.
I was kind of hoping I got him. That was pretty good accuracy, I thought.
The thing with that, Matt Tice, is that like, it's kind of weird. Well, I mean, we do. I know how a conductivity test works, but it's also, I don't know, just the thought of running electricity through somebody's urine to determine the resistance provided. Not necessarily the resistance, but the amount of ions in the urine is just
Weird.
It's definitely weird. It's like, hey, pee in this cup so I can run electricity through it.
All right, there's a couple coats in here if you want to check them.
You wouldn't really know if it's done well. I'll take the extra rubles, man.
Drink, 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 drink. Yeah, pineapple juice. Awesome.
Oh, I had a super salty moment, by the way. So you know how condensed milk says to stop blood loss?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Somebody's definitely been here.
Think so?
Yeah, because I just opened this jacket and I found 2 ER bayonets in it.
No, that can happen.
That can happen?
Yeah, that can happen.
Okay, never mind that. But yeah, no, so I was like in a bad spot, but I found some condensed milk. I didn't have any bandages, and I'm like, all right, fine, I'll just do it.
All right, I'm coming out of the building the way I came.
Okay. But yeah, straight up, I was like, cool, all right, I got the condensed milk, I'm going to do this. And I was like, I don't remember how to do this. So I ate the condensed milk, but it didn't cure my bleeding. And I'm like, damn it, I think I had to apply it.
Okay, I was just checking to see if that scab came back out. Do you want to chase him down, or you want to try and get him from a different angle?
Let's try and get him from a different angle. He might be expecting us to do there. AI or player.
Alright, there's a couple different ways we can go for this. Probably the easiest is just go up on the roof, and then go from the roof down.
Yeah. We can do that. Okay, for what reason did you have to pee in a cup every 15 minutes? Like, I've had to do urine tests fairly regularly because it turns out that druggies aren't allowed in the military. But,
yeah, I'm just looking around in case there's somebody else on the roof.
Every 15 minutes seems kind of excessive.
Do they give you something to drink? Because that seems like most people wouldn't be able to keep that up.
Yeah, no, like, he says that he chugged a liter of water. Which,
gotcha.
I mean, that's basically what I do every time I have to do a test.
I'm just checking down below in case there's scavs patrolling or something.
Yeah.
I don't see any. Alright. I think there is lootables up on the roof, but it might be the opposite roof that has the lootables. I don't really remember.
Hold on. We were learning about kidney
Malk.
functionality. Mouth, I'll drink it.
Well, you don't have to drink it if you don't want it.
I'm at 58 hydration.
Oh, yeah, then you should.
That's a very, like, learn by doing kind of style there, I tell you what.
Okay. We are running a little bit out of time, so...
What time is it?
We got 23 minutes, but if we keep going at this pace, we'll...
Crap.
Okay. We need 308, which is clear on the other side of the hall, so...
Stay frosty.
We probably shouldn't loot too much. We'll check Pigman, though, because that's good loot. Pigman. Check the floor, because there could be stuff on the floor.
Yeah, I was checking.
It looks like somebody might have already been here.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure something's already.
Yeah, we gotta be frosty here, because this could be dicey. Duffel, if you want to look at it. I'm gonna overwatch, just so we don't get murdered.
Nothing in the duffel. Somebody's definitely already been through here.
That makes sense. Let's go through here so we can go around the barbed wire. I think this is normally locked, so I'm gonna guess somebody's been here. Oh, this is not looted.
Oh,
Sorry.
I see you picked up a gun there.
Yeah, just a Saiga shotgun. Juice, I'll take. 308. Oh, we're still going. 11. 309. It should be really close. Go ahead and check that. Now that dude might be right down the stairwell, right?
Ooh, I found a rifle scope.
Okay. That's good.
Take that.
Oh, big lag for me. Okay, this is 308. Locking. I can't remember if it's 308 or 306 I have to go in, so I might have to go through both, but I know the key gets either, so... Or drink. How are you doing hydration-wise?
8-4.
Okay. Probably jump over the generator. It's a laptop thingy, I think. I have to pick some... Oh, it's at the chair. That's what it is. I got it. There's a couple computers in here if you want to...
Ooh, there's a horse statue. I'll take that.
Guess I can loot the computers because I have the space. Hard drive. U fan. And a CPU. Guess we can put some of this stuff up here. Yeah, being this late in the raid is actually... Did you check the weapon crate?
Yeah, there's nothing but a small attachment.
Yeah, so these should be unlooted because there's medical right here.
I already popped it. It's empty.
Checking the bathroom just in case there's anything in there. No, all right.
All right. Can we get moving now?
Yeah, we can get out if you want.
Yeah, I'm pretty much full up and I got a fair amount of good stuff.
All right, let's just check the back so we don't run into anybody.
See anybody.
All right. So this dude that we shot at earlier could be like right in this area, so we gotta be careful. I don't hear anything. Oh, I do want to check something. It's probably on the other side. There's a chance for a key I want to check. Second floor. I don't see it. Okay. I'm tempted to check the red key card, but I have a feeling somebody's already done that one. F it. That's probably on the other side, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Alright. Screw that. That's the west side. We don't have time for that. Oh, we have time for it. I just... How much do you want to get a red key card?
Like a lab key card?
You know what? We've got time. I'm looting still.
So I'm going to end up selling that for liquid cash.
When we're at 10 minutes, we need to get out, but... Until that point, I want to keep going.
Hang on 1 second. What's in here? Other car kits. I'll take it.
Okay, come on. Time's running.
Where are you?
Oh my god.
Hi.
I went through the door. You went in the complete different door. Alright, come here. Jesus Christ.
It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. We're good.
But we're on a time limit and you're making a god-awful amount of noise.
Alright, for it. What I make up for...
Stop, stop, stop. Hopefully you did. Okay, sure.
You might have just dropped on. Hold on.
Yeah, I popped his body a couple times.
Hold on.
I would not run out there, but alright.
I'm just double checking. Sorry.
I can tell you because I can look at my task. Yeah, he's dead.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Easy. Is it scaff? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I had to do scaff. Alright. Where'd you end up going?
I went up the stairs.
Stairs. Alright, on my way up.
There's some, like, a key spawn that I think is pretty worth me coming up here for. And it's not there. Alright. Do I have room for stuff? Yeah, I can grab this bleach, I guess. Ooh, graphics card. Yo. Just drink the Tarkov. Yeah, so this has a lot of, like, in this area, you have a lot of, there's the word I'm looking for. Things that, like bleach and stuff in this area. So if ever you need that for a quest, this is the area to go to.
I was fine with testing whatever came out of my own body, but testing someone else's pee weirded me out a little.
I guess we can hit the duffel one. Duffel? I heard laughing. Did you hear that?
No, I didn't. Hang on. I'm holding still.
Alright, there's nothing in there. Here, I'll give the piece to you. I don't want to mess with it.
Yeah, I don't even have any room, so let's just...
Well, you can.
I think it's about...
Yeah, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Okay, so we're gonna go out the way we came. Be careful, because the laughing sounded like it may have been in this direction. Alright, let's get the F out of here. We're at 15 minutes, which is plenty of time. What is our extract?
Tunnel.
Alright, we'll try Rock Passage. See if that's open, and then if it's not, we're gonna have to curl around. I mean, we already kind of went past the spot, so it's kind of silly, but... There'll be green smoke by the Rock Passage. I don't know where we're gonna get a good look at that, but... I guess we'll just go this way. I wonder, where Sniper Scav spawn later in the raid? Or does he only spawn at the beginning? Guess we'll find out.
I'm not too sure on that one.
This is kind of the sweet thing about Shoreline. If you take your sweet time, you get like a free run in the resort because everybody's left.
Pick up the strap.
Yeah, that's the downside though, is if they've gotten stuff, it's gone. Alright, so we do have to be a little worried about scavs over by the bunker now, because they will spawn in over time. I don't see any though. Alright, so we need to get a look at the rock passage to see if there's any smoke. Green smoke. I can't see it from here.
Where am I looking?
Yeah. Okay. It's here.
Oh, cool. I didn't even know that was an extract.
Yeah, and the green smoke has to be there. If it's not there, then you get no extract.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Sweet.
It's good to go. Found an exit. Time to extract. Time to get out. It's good to go.
Yay, we did it!
Bubbles. Catch a couple mussels. Put one in a saline solution, one in fresh water, then burn them to ash and weigh them before and after burning to check the... You burn them alive? That's fucked up, man. Well, I mean, I do the hands-on approach too, but, like, damn. Damn, son, hardcore.
Right. I have to turn in that quest though. Don't forget.
I gotta make some room here in the Oh, I did buy one. Yeah, at least I got those.
Okay, what is his reward? He gives me a pistol case. I actually don't need that, but I guess I have pistols I can put in. So, hand over the retrieved data to PC. Okay. I should have room for it in my stash, but I'll just double check.
Just...
New one. Find a room with reservoirs. Find any information on the second part of the shipment. All right. That's probably just another go to a place and do a thing. Okay. Yeah, we got room for it. Give her. Do I have any insurance, Prapor?
Actually, wait.
These?
If I can.
All right. The dollars definitely help because I burned through a lot of my dollars yesterday.
Oh boy. Oh, you're gonna be so happy, Mouse.
Hi.
Yeah, you know what I just did?
What'd you do?
I put a scope on the stubby boy.
I think I have another one of these shrimps. Try and find it.
Scope on the stubby boy.
You do a red dot or a true scope?
Like a scope.
Oh, that's cool. Where's my shrimp? Where did I put it? APS, I guess I could go in there. I think I have to buy parts to get this to work, though. Alright, well, let's just keep going through until we find... Pretty sure I have one, but I could be mistaken. I may have lost it in that bag debacle. But I'm pretty sure it wasn't in there. What I lost that is probably the biggest bummer is I had a bunch of Glock 50 round mags that I was saving up for a meme run.
Oh.
So that's a bit of a bummer. I hope I didn't just pass it or something. If I have one, I didn't see it, but I also wasn't paying the most attention. I do have another one of those suppressed Tokarev. Just make that. Question is, what did I do with that suppressor now? If I don't have the shrimp, I don't have the thing. All right, now we gotta figure out where to put this. I also got that pistol. All right, it'll just be there for now. I have to take a quick bathroom break, so I have a lot of stuff to move around too. This is gonna take a while. You know what? This is a good pickup. Minus 37 plus 8. I don't think that's any better, but it will look nicer. Minus 37, but more ergonomics. So, that change. Oh. Stupid folding stock that doesn't fold. So a little nicer. What's the ergonomics like? Oh, 67. That's actually really good. I don't want to keep that. Well, anyway, I gotta go to the bathroom, so I'll be right back, guys.
And then it was me. Oh. Actually, since he's doing that, this is a good opportunity for me to check out the scoped stubby boy. Offline mode. Offline mode. Just curious. He'll be back. for now, you can just listen to me figure this out. I don't even know if this scope is going to be good, but we cooked a 6-course meal during class. What? Like, we cooked in our like cooking class, but we had like a home ec class or whatever the fuck. Probably not the best place to test this out, but oh, that is ridiculous. Food science class. Was this in college? Like what?
All right, I'm back. There we go. the demute of the Discord didn't hit the first time.
I'm testing out the scope right now and offline. Oh,
So that and that. I don't think bleach trades for anything. Let me just check that. I think it trades for a helmet. Yeah, it trades for this. Need 2 though, so that's not gonna happen. Graphics card, what do you trade for?
oh my god! I turned the PVE like quantity up to horde, and there's just like 8 of them.
Yeah, it can be pretty intense. What about the hose? What does that trade? All right. Second, we'll sell these things.
I actually lagged my computer with how many there were.
I have a little bit of a rant that we can talk about. One of the things that I'd love for them to change in this game is the way that some of the sights work. I've already discussed how I'm not a fan of the way scopes work with shotguns. But another thing is some of the iron sights are just... They are just not good. Like, why I thought of this is I was messing with the FAL. The FAL's iron sights are terrible. And the sight picture, that is not what that sight picture looks like in real life. I really wish that they would modify that. Like, in my opinion, your eyes are too far away from it. Like, if you were to do that in real life, you'd put it up to one of your eyes, and what it would look like is you would look through it. I mean, you'd take your fingers, go like that. It's like that. So you have a little bit of a ring, but it's very much in your periphery, and then you've got the post way out here, right? It just like it's like a little like halo. Like when you're looking through it, you don't really even notice it. But the way that they have it in here is the sight's like way up here, and it blocks so much of your vision. It's just a mess. I don't like it. They really need to adjust that. They need to make it's like the eye relief on the sights is not right on some of the sights. It doesn't make sense.
I don't know what it is, but I feel like there's something off with the scopes too.
Yeah. So
To some extent.
I think they need to adjust some of it. It's like they're just slight changes. Like they need to change like where the just where your guy's eyes are in relation to the sight. Yeah, 45 grand for a graphics card. That's pretty good. I guess I should have asked you, did you have a quest for a graphics card? Because I know that has a quest line that you can eventually get.
I do.
Damn it. I know that's a pain in the ass one to do too, so I should probably give that to you. Damn it.
You just bring it with you. I'll shove it in my lockbox.
Yeah. I don't think you have to find it in raid. You just have to get it.
I think you do have to find it.
No, you don't, because I've done that quest before.
Oh, yep. Get graphics card. You're right. I could have sworn it was find it, but I guess not.
Yeah. You're cheating me out of 45 grand, you punk.
You already got like 1.1 mil.
I've got more than that. I got more than that.
Fight.
The other thing that's interesting, this is more an interesting anecdote, but the FAL that you can buy default, right? Let's take a look at that. I think it's Peacekeeper who sells it. I could be mistaken. Yeah. Okay, they do have the Belgian variant. Okay, good. Usually the one you see that scavs will run with is this Austrian one, right? But apparently the one you buy is the Belgian one. That's good, because for those of you who don't know, it's an FNFAL, so it's a Belgian design. So I just find it interesting that the Austrian variant is the one that's more prevalent. I don't know why that is. Maybe that's a Russian thing. Like, maybe that's something that's common on the Russian market. I really don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
FALs are actually really rare in the US. I think it's something to do with import laws. Like, at the time frame that they were being surplused, our import laws had changed. So it's tougher to get a lot of foreign things. So FALs are kind of rare, and they're very expensive, considering that it was a pretty prevalent weapon.
Weird that they would get the sights and scopes wrong when they have so much detail already. It's kind of weird getting sights and scopes to function right in.
Yeah,
in a
it
video
could just
game.
be that.
Just because, like, I don't know about you, Mouse, because I kind of had it reverse in that, you know, I didn't have guns growing up when I was younger, but but I played a lot of video games, and it's like it is so much different when you are actually looking through a sight picture of a gun.
Yeah, and a lot of things are a little off in this game. Like, the recoil patterns aren't realistic. Like, there's a lot of things that are different, and some of it I'm gonna just go, oh, it's a video game, so it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, there's just little things that could be better. The recoil has improved, though, because it used to be worse, and I hope they improve it even more, because the way this game works right now, full automatic is the way to go. It used to be even worse. Because there used to be this weird thing with full automatic when I was playing it more in the past, where you would have a lot of recoil on the initial burst, but the longer you held down the trigger, the recoil would just disappear. So it like doing quick bursts was terrible. Like, you wouldn't hit anything, but doing just like holding down the trigger full auto, after you got past the initial point, it was extremely controllable. So everybody would go rock full auto all the time. That is the complete opposite of how it works. If you want to have control with full auto, you need to do controlled bursts. If you just rock the full auto, you're going to be all over the place eventually. So that's another thing that, like, they're improving, but it's still off, in my opinion. Yeah, the FAL is it used to be called the right arm of the free world. That was like the kind of like nickname that it got, because so many countries that were like democracies, I guess you would call them, use them. Although Argentina, I don't know if that counts, but you get my point.
Rubles.
I guess non-Soviet commie countries is what we're talking about when you say that. Well, FN is still a major player. All of the M4s that the U.S. military use now are made by FN because Colt dropped the ball with their quality.
Bastards.
I hope that Colt's turning that around. They got really complacent. For the longest time, like, they had kind of a monopoly on what am I doing? They had a monopoly on like military contracts and stuff.
I'm pretty much ready to go, by the way.
Oh, I'm not.
Just whenever you're ready. Keep going.
But that has pretty much disappeared because they have they've kind of pissed their reputation away, more or less. Colt is one of those ones where it's kind of a tragic story of a great company messed up by eventually boardroom politics and, like, just corporate, like, what is the way? A lot of companies go to crap when they get openly traded on the stock market. I don't think that's the right word. What is the right word for that? When your stock... Yeah, but like when your stock is available to anybody to purchase, what is the term for that?
IPO.
Public. That's the word I'm looking for. When the stock goes public, oftentimes companies go to crap, and that's exactly what happened to Colt. And they've traded hands multiple times. They've gone bankrupt a couple times. So it's been a mess. That they are a shadow of what they were. And for those of you that don't know that much about the U.S., in the early 20th century, like the first half of the 20th century, Colt was dominant. Like they were the company.
Like it turns out when you make the handgun that's used by the United States military for,
well, not just the handgun.
Years?
They made like all of the machine guns. They made they were involved in everything. They had a lot of Browning's patents, which interestingly enough, Browning ended up going to FN later because he first worked for Winchester, and he made a series of lever action rifles for them. He's the one that's responsible for pretty much inventing the pump action shotgun. So he made a whole bunch of things for Winchester. Winchester eventually pissed him off, so he moved to Colt. Colt eventually pissed him off, so he moved to FN, and then he worked for FN until his death. And there's a lot of famous FN. And I believe in Europe, they still refer to 380 Auto as 9mm Browning. Because he invented that cartridge, more or less. Yeah, I just need to get going here. I'm sorry, I'm dragging a little bit. But Browning is a very important man. Maybe more stuff is attributed to him than he deserves, but he's still a very important man in firearms history.
I did not know that. I think the only thing I really knew about Browning was I think he did a semi-automatic pistol, right? Named after.
Well, he did a number of pistols. So the one that was really popular that made there's a brand called Browning that's owned by FN, and as a matter of fact, the pistol that killed Franz Duke Ferdinand was Browning. Browning 1910, I think.
Oh, here's a good question that you might be able to answer. Has the advent of printed weapons made a difference in the firearms world?
Not yet. Because the 3D printed stuff is actually junk. And there was this big scare in the US about that, because it's there's been this thing that keeps coming out. And this happened. It's the best place to see this is watch Die Hard 2. Because in that movie, Glocks had just come out. And in that movie, they make up a whole bunch of bull crap about what Glocks are like. And they're like, it's made out of ceramic and it will go right through a metal detector. All of that's bull crap, because if you know anything about a Glock, half the thing's made out of steel. But yeah, there was kind of a scare when that came out. And the same thing happened when 3D printed guns happened, because it's oh, now people can just make guns out of plastic and they'll go right through a metal detector and it'll be the worst. The thing you have to realize is even with the 3D printed pistols, they need a metal firing pin to work. So you can't get around that. And it needs a spring. And the most effective springs are made out of metal. So you could probably get a non-ferrous firing pin if you really wanted to work for it. But when it comes down to it, getting around a metal detector is actually really hard if you want a functioning pistol. The second thing is a lot of those 3D printed guns, they were good for one shot. After that, the pressures just messed the thing up to the point where it would fall apart.
There's a lot of fantastic demos of 3D printed firearms on YouTube. And you can basically always see that if they don't fail after the first shot, they usually fail after the second. They usually end up cracking the frame because of the power of the explosion.
Yeah, and that's probably just shooting a 22 on top of that. There's a historical pistol, and we're really getting here into the weeds of history and firearms and stuff. But there was a historical pistol, I think it was called the Liberator. And the idea with this is it was just a little sheet metal one-shot pistol, but in .45 caliber, because that was the American cartridge. And the idea was, I don't think they ever deployed them, but the idea was these would be really cheap to make, and they could make thousands of the things. And it would come with, it had a little like compartment where it would come with like 2 cartridges and just very simple sheet metal thing. And they dropped the idea, they didn't actually do it, but the idea was they dropped these in France, and then the resistance would pick these up. They would use them to kill a German soldier and then take the German's gun, because obviously that's an upgrade. Mm-hmm. And that was the whole idea. It never went anywhere, but they did make a lot of these things. None of them really survived because they all rusted to pieces because nobody cared to keep them around. But there are reproductions of them, and there are a few videos of people shooting them on YouTube. And let's just say the general consensus is unpleasant. Very unpleasant to shoot. So I could only imagine what a plastic gun would be like. Yeah, 22, you can get away with it. But once you go into anything more than that, the recoil will be insane. And it would be so difficult to shoot. Like, and again, we're getting into a kind of a rant here, but I think a lot of people take for granted how hard it is to shoot guns.
Yeah, so 10,000%. If you've never fired a gun before, I encourage you to go and actually do it. Like,
and handguns in particular are the hardest. And with a handgun, you have competing advantages, right? So with a rifle, it's easier because you've got the stock. You can have a nice steady platform. You don't have to worry about its recoil as much. Usually rifles are kick harder, but you know the stock helps you with steadying the weapon really well. But another thing you have to going for you with the rifle is it has very good sights. It has a long sight profile, and the longer the sight profile is, the better you're going to be with your accuracy in lining things up. A little stubby gun has a very poor sight profile, and oftentimes little small guns don't even really have very good sights at all, or no sights. Being able to shoot those things effectively are, and I've shot a number of what you would call mouse guns, little tiny guns. It's very difficult. And oftentimes those guns have other things that work against you too, but you have a lightweight gun that's really small, you have really small sight profile. All that stuff comes together, and a little gun, even if it's a light caliber that doesn't recoil very hard, it's very difficult to get much out of accuracy. And that's just the nature of things. Usually speaking, you're gonna have a much easier time with a full-size pistol than you would with a little tiny thing.
I told you about when so basically I didn't actually qualify. I did not shoot a qualifying score to qualify with Beretta 92FS when I was at boot camp, because it was literally the first time I had ever fired a pistol, and it's so different from everything that you're like actually used to. I mean, aside from the fact that I didn't actually do it, I didn't do the actual firearm shooting at boot camp, but even afterwards, we went to an actual range and fired the 92FS. I still...
Not to interrupt you real quick here, but what time are you at? 0519? You want to go that?
Oh, I was waiting for you to finish up. I was
yeah,
just
0519. Good for you?
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, go ahead with your story, though.
Oh, I was just saying, like, it is definitely super crazy exactly how hard it is to actually fire a pistol accurately at even distances beyond, like, you know, maybe 5 to 7 yards. It is not easy for somebody who's inexperienced toward it.
Yeah, and the other thing you have to realize too is the psychological aspect of it. If you are not used to firearms, it is kind of almost a traumatizing experience to try and shoot one for the first time. It is. I mean, I'm sure some of you won't have as much issues as other people. It depends on who you are, but they're very loud. That can be very startling. The recoil can be startling. I think the noise is probably the biggest thing, though. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. When I fired my double barrel, I like almost crapped my pants. Like,
yeah.
Even with double hearing protection on, it was still so loud. Even like a 22 is loud enough to damage your hearing if you don't have hearing protection on. If you're just firing a standard 22 cartridge, not something subsonic, like, no. It's terrifying.
And even with me, like being more experienced with them, if it's been a while since I've been to the range, the first few gunshots I hear, I still get a little jump. Like you settle in after a little while, but it's like those first few, like you're not as ready for it. Like you kind of have to climatize yourself to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then you get people that like my buddy who brought his AR-12, the AR platform that's a shotgun, just loaded it with slugs and just like that was horrifying.
Well, and also like with pistols, the pistols versus rifles, pistols you have to deal with the flash more. Like with a rifle, it's a lot further away from your face. So you don't see all the muzzle flash and stuff. With a pistol, you see that. So like, for example, my wife has gone shooting with me at times. She doesn't like shooting pistols for that reason. It's just like the noise and the flash is like right in your face. And I understand that.
Yeah. That too, and if like you've never experienced the recoil of firing even a handgun, like it's actually kind of surprising.
Yeah.
It makes your hand shake because you're just like, oh man, I just fired a literal explosive out of my hand.
It's it takes a little bit of, like when you're newer, it's very common for you to do something called limp wristing. And limp wristing is bad for if you're firing semi-auto. It's not as bad for a revolver. It's bad form, but it won't mess up the function of the gun. If you limp wrist with a semi-auto, what you're doing by limp wristing is you're actually you're absorbing so much of the recoil with your wrists that you're not letting the slide do what it needs to do, so the slide won't come back with enough force and it will short stroke. So with some guns, you like there's another thing. I think it's called like a what is the term I want to use? I think it's like inertial action. I forget the exact term for it, but some shotguns use it. I think Benelli is the one that's most famous for it.
I lost you, by the way.
Oh, I just went over the hill. Yeah, I see you. I'm right to your left.
Left.
Oh my god. Right now? Right. You looked right at me.
There you are.
You looked right at me 3 times.
Yeah, you're wearing all green, man.
Yeah, rifles are very hard kicking. They do.
Oh, yeah.
That's one thing that a lot of people, I think, don't understand. Like, rifle cartridges, and I'm talking all the way back in the day when you're talking muskets. I've watched some guys in the firearm community that are into the black powder stuff, and it is amazing the powder charge that those guys use. There's this guy, his name's Captain Ball, and he's Hungarian, and he has really great content. I really highly recommend it if you're into that kind of thing. And he actually goes hunting with black powder because in Hungary, it's a lot easier to do that kind of stuff with the laws that they have with black powder. And that's also true in some states in the United States as well, just for context. But the powder charges they use for like the hunting weapon, the hunting rifles or muskets or whatever, is really a lot. And I don't know what the kick is because I've never fired one of those before, but I imagine it's quite hard. So yeah, like even back then, the recoil you're experiencing by firing something that's full power is a lot. Modern rifles like this AR that I have, they've gone for what's known as an intermediate cartridge, where you take away a lot of that. Like it's not a full rifle cartridge like they used to fire back in the olden days when they were trying to fire 3,000 yards, because for whatever reason they thought bolt action rifles would be used that way. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, the volley sights that they used to have on rifles like pre-World War I and up into World War I.
I have I've showed you my Mauser, right?
Yeah, does it have a volley sight on it?
Can you describe that for me?
So a volley sight it's a secondary sight that, and the best one example is a Lee Enfield. And it's a little, it's kind of hard to explain. It's like a peep sight that you pull out, and okay, just to show you. So you would look at the sight, and you'd hold the rifle like this, and the sight would line up with the front post. And this would be I'm shooting at 3,000 yards.
So, because the sight that I have on the 1891 model is it's very reminiscent of the roller coaster sights. So it has those increments of 1, 2, 3, 4, and you just clip it in and then push it forward. And so if you have it all the way at 20, the rear sight is going to be angled up. That way, you will angle the weapon up because you were expected to fire it super long distances.
Yeah, so with the volley sight, think of that to the extreme. So you're talking like 6,000 yards, meters, whatever. And the idea was they thought, like in the late 1800s and the like leading up to World War I, they thought that mass formations would still be the thing. So the idea is you have your guys in a mass formation, and they arc their shots into the enemy, which is also a mass formation. And because you're firing at mass formations, accuracy doesn't really matter. Just rough accuracy is good enough because we're all firing together in one big salvo. So that's why it's called a volley sight, because you fire as a group in a volley.
Which didn't turn out to be the thing. That's actually, I know you've seen the Forgotten Weapons video on the Carcano, the Terzi Carcano carbine. So I actually have one of those. And that was the thing with the Italians, because that one has, and I even have it on that rifle, is that it has a fixed sight. You cannot change it, and it's fixed at 100 meters because the Italians were one of the few people that were like, yo, dog, warfare is probably not going to be fought that way. So they fix the sight at 100 meters, and it doesn't change. That rifle is permanently sighted to 100 meters unless I rip the backside off.
Well, with that, what you want to look up is what is known as a gyrojet pistol. That's going to be the closest to a bolt gun. That is probably what they based a bolt gun off of, was the gyrojet technology. This is from the 60s era. But the gyrojet was based off of a faulty premise. The faulty premise was, because this was the space age, this was leading up to the space age, and the assumption was, once you got up into space, we may have to fight in space, and there's no oxygen in space, so fire wouldn't work, would it? So they designed this rocket pistol, more or less. It turns out why that's a faulty premise is the propellant that a cartridge uses has its own oxidizer, so you don't need a supply of oxygen. The oxygen is in the cartridge.
Yep.
Even black powder has an oxidizer in it. So
you can fire pretty much. I think with that, pretty much every modern firearm in space.
Yeah, you can fire a gun underwater too. It's the same premise that the water isn't stopping the thing from. Water can obstruct a barrel in theory, but like it's not the water suffocating things that will. It has its own oxidizer. It's fine. So yeah, so that's a faulty premise. Now the other thing that was, it depends. Like traditional black powder is sulfur and saltpeter, I believe. Which the saltpeter, I believe, is the oxidizer. But I think there's different formulas nowadays. Now that we have smokeless, so.
Oh hey, I completely forgot. Do you have that graphics card on you?
Oh yeah.
Ooh, your boy found an M4 in there.
So when you're ready, it's on the ground.
All right.
Oh, gunshots.
You hear that?
Yeah, I'm gonna take this. Why not? But the problem with the gyrojet pistol is what they did is and this is why the idea of a it is a nitrogen compound. Okay, good. What they did with the gyrojet is they tried to make it so that it would be like no recoil, right, or very little recoil. So how it functions is the rocket is going to, like, okay, so like how a RPG that mini RPGs that you would use to like maybe attack a vehicle, right? Usually speaking, what they'll do is they'll have a very powerful rocket that will blast it at high speed, and then the motor will continue to propel it as it goes. Or maybe not. It might just, if it's a recoilless rifle, it would just be bam, that's it, right? But because it gets backblast, that's okay, because all of the energy of okay, this is probably getting a little into the weeds, but how a recoilless rifle works is when it fires, it spits out the expanding gases out the back, so that you don't really experience any recoil. That really wouldn't work with the gyrojet though, because that backblast is dangerous. Like, if you have a recoilless rifle, you don't want to stand behind it because it will blast you and you'll probably die.
It turns out that pressure waves are really bad.
Yeah.
In case you didn't.
So with the gyrojet, to try and make it safer, they had the rocket propel it over time, like slowly. So the problem with the gyrojet is it was only effective after a certain distance, like let's say 20 meters. I'm pulling that number out of my ass. If you watch a video on it, you'll get a more specific number. So it wouldn't get up to lethal velocity until after 20 meters. So if somebody's closer than that, it's just going to bounce off of them. Maybe give them a bruise, but that's about it, right? So that really cuts into its effectiveness. The other problem is the ammunition was very expensive, and if it was not constructed perfectly, it would be completely and totally inaccurate. So that was another reason why it ended up being rejected. The effectiveness of it was at a very set range. If it's too close, it won't work. If it's too far away, it loses its steam. And the other downside is the ammunition was very finicky and expensive. So they found out that, it turns out, gunpowder works just fine in a vacuum. So let's not worry about it. And the gyrojet has lost to time now. So there's a long-winded story of the gyrojet pistol, which was probably the main influence of the idea of a bolt gun. Because in theory, maybe if you develop the technology a little bit more, you could fire a pretty high caliber round that has like explosive warheads or whatever, and it wouldn't really have a lot of recoil if you use that technology and you refined it to some degree. So in theory, it's sound. You just would need a lot more development than we are going to bother with at the moment. So maybe in 40,000 years, they'll figure it out. Or 30,000, or whenever bolt guns become a thing.
Grim dark future of the 41st millennium. This scope is actual hot garbage, though. I bought it because the sight, like the actual sight overlay, looked a lot better than what I had.
Okay,
and
so
it's just zoomed in so far.
What power is that?
That's a great question.
Is that a Night Force?
It is.
So you have number dash number.
3 tac 2-4.
So 3 by 2-4.
Yeah, apparently, like,
so 3 power.
To...
That's a 3 power scope then.
Okay, so shouldn't that mean that it's modifiable then?
No, it will have a number dash. So if it says like 1-4, then that will be 1 to 4 power.
3-24.
So there's no times.
Let me see here.
I think you're getting confused.
3-24 times 4-2.
Okay, well, right there, yeah, you have a 24 power scope.
Yeah, and not only that, it looks, there's even an adjustable knob on it. Like,
yeah. So yeah, Math, I guess if it has recoil like that, then no, it's not a gyrojet. I assume that was the technology they would draw the influence from, because that was like, a lot of science fiction stuff has gyrojets in it. Like, BattleTech has it. A lot of science.
Oh, whoa, get down, get down, get down.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I was able to kill him.
Jeez. That scared the crap out of me.
Thankfully, you just had a Makarov. But yeah, again, they, you know. I was just saying, like, if I was thinking about it, I would probably. A little slow. Yeah, okay. So if it has a lot of recoil, then yeah, it's probably a more traditional firearm. At least the way it works. But it's interesting, all this technology that we can do.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to check his body just to get the experience.
I basically just ripped all the Makarov mags off of him.
Yeah, I got 60 experience just by looking at him.
It's Alt right click to change the power of the scope, right?
Yes, if you have the default.
Okay, I don't know then, because I'm clicking the button and the guy's going like click, click, but it's not actually changing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've never heard of a 24 power scope in this game. What is the name of the scope?
It is... Wait, what? A optical scope March tactical 3-24 times 42 FFP. I'm kind of curious about that myself.
Okay. Well, in my opinion, if a gyrojet had a high explosive warhead, the velocity wouldn't matter as much. Or like some kind of explosive warhead. Like, let's say it's heat. And if you're wondering what heat stands for, it stands for high explosive anti-tank. Would you like me to talk about how high explosive anti-tank works? Where did you go?
I was looking at something. High explosive anti-tank.
I'm off to your right.
Please, tell me, how does that work?
Okay. So, this was invented around about World War II times. So, for reference, the bazooka would use this technology. As a matter of fact, the bazooka is your first rocket-propelled grenade. And pretty much the idea for that came about because they were using actual grenades that were heat. So you had to throw it at the enemy tank or vehicle. So they realized that that was kind of impractical. So they were like, well, how do we make this thing go further? And that was their solution, was the bazooka. And then the Germans copied that when they saw it in North Africa. And they came out with the Panzerschreck and, you know, so on. But the way it works is it's known as a shaped charge explosive. The best way to explain it is, you know how like with a hose, when you pinch it off, the pressure goes up?
Of course.
It's the same idea. So you take the explosion and you funnel it into a fine point. And by doing that, you increase the force many-fold. And it pretty much literally just pushes its way through the armor. And I would say burns its way through, but that's probably an inaccurate way to describe it. Although I do know, like, the one way that they kind of combated heat, because for a while, 50s and 60s, they had no defense against it. So if you had standard steel armor, this stuff would punch through it, like, with ease. Like, you could punch through hundreds of millimeters of armor with ease. So, how that was defeated is the British eventually came up with what they called Chobham armor, but it was a composite. So this is layers of steel, ceramic, plastic, what have you, and like kind of a sandwich. So what happens is the ceramic or what have you will absorb the energy of the heat and kind of dissipate that energy, because ceramic is a really good absorber of that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So that was how they were able to eventually make heat not as big of a deal. So heat's still used, but it's not as effective because we have improved the armor. Another way to get around it too, and this is something the Germans did too. Like, I don't know if you can see this in pictures. They literally put like wooden frames with chicken wire on it. And the idea with that is if you create distance, the further away the explosion happens, the more its energy is going to dissipate. So if you can create distance, this is known as spaced armor. It will really reduce the effectiveness. So that was kind of like the ad hoc solution the Germans did, is they just put like wooden frames with chicken wire. If the chicken wire caught the explosive like a few inches away from the armor, that would really help. And then yet another thing is reactive armor is the other defense that is like in the modern context. And that's something that the Soviets use a lot, or used a lot, and the Russians and their whatever, you know, Warsaw Pact, they use that a lot at the time. And the way reactive armor works, am I boring the shit out of you guys or what?
No, I'm in the military, so you know,
the way
need to
reactive
hear about this stuff.
The way reactive armor works is when the shell comes in. So this is effective against heat or other shells. When the shell comes in, the reactive plate reacts. No pun intended there. I mean, it's what it is. And it explodes outward. So it literally blows the projectile away from itself. And it removes the energy, more or less. The problem with that is once the panel blows up...
reaction, or what's the deal
Yeah, it's
with
just
that?
like an explosive. So when you see reactive armor, you can usually really see it because it's in panels. There will usually be these square panels all over it. And once the panel blows, it's gone. So if you hit that same spot, it no longer has its defense. But it is very effective. And you can use both. Like in Iraq, we were having a lot of problems with RPGs. So they put in this armor package called Tusk. I don't know if Duden's heard of that or not. I don't know how much you pay attention to that kind of stuff.
Nah.
And Tusk was an armor upgrade where they added on reactive armor panels to the M1A1. So, or not just the M1A1. There's a lot of the Abrams. Would you say the Abrams simply? But yeah, that was a way to give it a little bit more defense because you can use both interchangeably. It's, you know, you don't have to use one or the other. More D fuel. Wrench.
Ooh, a hose.
Yeah, this
Still
is
need those?
this is one of the like more valuable spots to go to, just because there's a lot of loose loot you can grab.
Do you still need a hose?
No, I'm
for
good.
Quest? Okay, I'll take it. Sell it.
Yeah, I know quite a lot about tanks and how they work and all that. It's kind of fascinating. But yeah, the old school method that they do is just an armor penetrator. So this like has evolved over time. So in the past, they were just normal cannons. I feel like I lost you. I went out the door to the right and then right again.
I just kind of, I saw a thing, a wiper, and I was like, ooh, wiper.
Ah. So that was just, you would fire like a steel projectile at the highest velocity you could, and you just tried to pierce right through the armor. And that is still the way we do things. That's actually the most effective way to get through armor. After heat kind of lost its luster, we went back to that. They don't use steel anymore, but they'll use like depleted uranium or something like that. Something really dense. The denser the projectile, the better.
Yep.
And the stronger, the better, because you don't want it to shatter. If it shatters, it just, you know, that's not going to help. That's not going to work. So it needs to stay intact. But they stopped using rifled barrels, and now they use smooth bores. Which that was, Soviets came up with that. So they use what's known as, nowadays it's AP, let me try and think about this. APDFS, I think is the letters. So armor piercing discarding sabot is all that. You gotta love those acronyms, those military acronyms, right?
Yeah, APDS.
No, APDFS.
Pretty sure.
Or is it APFD? Armor piercing, fin stable. No, armor piercing, discarding sabot, fin stabilized, or something like that. I don't know. It's something like that. But yeah, it's pretty much the best way to describe it is it's just a big dart made out of.
It can be shorthanded unless you're talking about the specific cartridge. You can just shorthand it to APDS.
I feel like I'm hearing steppies.
I'm not moving.
Definitely hearing steppies.
Yep. Upstairs, maybe?
There's no upstairs of this building.
There was.
They're outside. They're in the shed. They're probably going to come in here, so we got to be ready for them. Just be quiet. If you could very quietly walk to where I am so we can both shoot them at the same time. I'm going to lay down. More than likely a player scav.
Yep.
Think he's coming.
Oh, shit!
Through the window?
He blasted a flashlight in my face.
Did you die?
No. I'm still alive, but he knows we're in here and he knows your position. I don't think he... he shot me with a shotgun!
Alright, screw this. I'm going out to kill him. I think he's just a player scav.
Yeah, no, he's directly outside.
Got him. Nice. There might be multiples, because there's more dead bodies out there. I think you killed one.
Did I kill?
Yeah, there's a dead body by the door. That was not there when we entered.
I'm gonna...
Alright, do you have health and everything? Are you okay?
Yeah, no. He blacked out... Oh, he actually didn't. He blacked out my left arm, but he almost blacked out my leg.
That's a little intense. I think we played that right, though. I mean, they knew we were there. I don't know how they knew we were there. Maybe they heard us making noise earlier.
What happened is that this guy... So where this window is, right here, he came up to the window, and I saw him shine a flashlight at us, or at me specifically. And that's how they knew. I'm surprised he didn't take a shot there, but he may not have been necessarily aware.
Yeah, maybe he wasn't ready for us to be there. I'm kind of surprised he even checked the windows. I'm just checking over his body here. If you need health, how are you doing on health?
I'm fine. The only thing is that my left arm is done. So.
All right. You can live through that. So,
yeah.
Did you drop that dude, or is he just there? Because he was not there when we walked through. Do you have a weapon on him?
I have no clue. He's got a weapon on him. Like, he's completely unlooted.
I kind of think. Okay, so he came to the window. He went to shoot you. You fired back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you got him. Because I didn't shoot at him.
Greatest player.
All right, 2-man squad versus 2-man squad.
He's got a better weapon here.
Yeah, so, all right, get back onto my subject. So, yeah, it's just a big dart, and the longer the dart is, the better, because you can pack more mass in. Usually the dart's pretty thin, like, because they want to make it relatively aerodynamic. But they try and get as much length out of the dart as they can to get as much mass as they can. And the sabot is just like a package that holds it, so that the idea is you need to contain the pressure, and this thin dart is much thinner than the diameter of the barrel, right? So the sabot, you have a flashlight on that gun you have, by the way.
Thank you. I did not mean to pop that painkiller.
So the sabot just will make sure it contains the pressure, so that the projectile gets the full velocity, more or less. And then discarding sabot, the sabot will peel away and will leave the projectile, and then the projectile will go by itself, more or less. Yeah, exactly. You want to have a nice fine point when you go to pierce that armor.
Simple thing. It's the same exact reason why, if you want to assault somebody, use a golf club, not a baseball bat. Greater force, small surface area.
I love you sometimes. I don't know if these casualties have been hit.
It's physics. I haven't actually assaulted somebody with a golf club.
You know, there's no way they did loot this because they didn't have any money on them. I don't know. My guy didn't have any money on him. So this character should be good if you want to get in there.
Yeah, no, my other guy didn't have money on him.
They didn't really loot much, even though they were running around. They must have spawned, like, right in the village.
Yep. Cash is empty here.
Okay.
1,700 rubles.
Okay, it looks like they went in here.
Oh, this guy even get a shot off?
You had to have, because I thought I heard you shoot.
Well, no, this guy, because I checked the ammo in his gun and it's full.
I think the shotgun guy is the guy that shot you.
Yeah, no, he definitely shot me.
Yeah, this area has been looted up, I think. They didn't grab everything, but... They did not check the cash registers. That's interesting. Somewhat surprising. Paper. Yeah. I think broadhead arrows are more for hunting. Like, I think the idea is you want the arrow to stick in your prey with that one. I'm not a hunter, though, so I don't exactly know what a broadhead arrow is for. But I'm fairly certain it's more for hunting.
I can't wait to replace the scope on this Mosin. Like,
what's our time
scope.
scale? 29, alright. I don't
the
really...
scope
Oh,
actually,
I should check what this quest is. Hold on, I'm gonna go in this house and look at the wiki real quick. It looks like they looted this too. Yeah, that was the other thing I was gonna say, is that, like, the other idea was that you would get a bleed to try and make them bleed out or what have you. Or maybe that makes it easier to track them. That could be another thing too. Again, I'm not a hunter, so if I'm getting some of that wrong, and I definitely wouldn't be a bow hunter. That takes some skills. Let's just say that.
Mm-hmm.
Although it's somewhat surprising. I watch a little bit of hunting shows because I'm weird. And one of the things I watched, this dude was, I don't know what the animal was. It looked like some kind of like a cross between a deer and a goat. It was like a little tiny thing, right? Inside room 108 in East Wing. Okay. That's easy enough. Apparently it's not locked, so... But this bow that this guy shot, it had so much force. The arrow went through the thing like it wasn't even there, to the point that I was like, did he miss? But then the thing dropped like a rock. So I was like, wow. I did not realize. I mean, that's probably one of those, you know, the pulley system bows, the ones that have like huge amounts of power, right?
Yeah,
but like
compound bows.
it hit this thing so hard, the arrow went right clean through the thing.
Physics is crazy, man.
But yeah, I mean, depending on how you, I mean, I know there's people that don't really like the idea of hunting, but you cannot deny that hunters need a lot of skill to do what they do well. And ethically. To be a nice, skilled, ethical hunter, you really need a lot of skill. And that is impressive. I'm not saying that every Bubba in the woods has high levels of skill, but to be a really good hunter...
There was a joke I saw one time, kind of in that vein too, which is something along the lines of a hunter, like a good hunter, cares more about animals than, like, say, PETA. Because a good hunter literally sits in the woods staring at their prey for hours at a time, learning about them, trying to kill them in the most humane way possible, and then using them to the fullest extent they can.
And the other thing, too, for those of you that are wondering... You could say, oh, well, they do it out of the kindness of their hearts or whatever. Even if they're a bastard, it's actually the best idea. Like, it's actually to their best advantage to kill them ethically. Because if you kill them and it's an instant kill, they die immediately, it's a lot easier to track them. If you shoot them and you do not get a very clean hit, they'll just run. And the chance you'll find them is very low. Even if you kill them, it's very low. Like, if you give them a gut shot, first off, if you want to eat them, I think that ruins the meat. But if you gut shot them and they run, they could be miles before they drop. So you don't want that to happen.
I'm not a hunter, but I think the thing with an instant kill and the meat is that it causes them to tense up, and it kind of ruins them that way. I'm not too
I don't
sure.
know. But yeah.
It's hard to care less about animals than PETA. You know, it's funny you mentioned that. I just did that as kind of a big thing, like, because everybody knows what that is. But I kid you not, when I was in high school, I did a comparison report between PETA and a local no-kill shelter that I want to volunteer for when I got out of the Navy. And it was actually astonishing. Like, I kid you not, if you look at PETA's publicized budget reports, like 55 to 60% of their money goes towards euthanizing animals. It's dumb.
I think there's a dude on Scav Island. I can just
Oh
barely
my
make
God.
him out in the fog.
Hold on. My time is now.
I want to try and steal that kill.
My time is now. You can't steal this. You cannot steal this kill from me.
He's walking around, and you get it.
Where is he? It's hard to see anything with this scope.
I don't think I can dial up. Oh, I sure can.
Oh, I see him.
I think I dropped him.
Nope, he's prone.
Nah, I got him.
Nah, I dropped him.
Nah, I got him. 9 kills. Got him, boy.
No, there's no way that you dropped him.
I shot him and he immediately went down.
He proned. I saw him go prone.
Nope, he died.
I got a 24 times scope. He went prone and then I shot him.
All right, whatever. We'll have to see on the kill feed. Yeah, the big problem, I can't speak for Europe, but the big problem in the U.S. is hogs. Wild hogs are out, like real bad, especially in the South. So that was a thing for a while. Farmers are desperate to get hunters down there to get rid of the hogs because they're just their populations got out of control.
Didn't I tell you about? I told you that story about when I was in Texas and the hogs are down there.
I don't remember it, so go ahead and say it again.
So I lived down there.
Another guy walking right to left.
Oh, I see him. There's no way I can hit that from here.
He's firing back. I got him.
What kind of scope you got on that? Oh,
Just a normal red dot. Just normal red dot.
But yeah, so basically I lived down there for about a month prior to my leaving for the Navy. And I remember one night I went to bed, and they have about 6 acres of land out in the middle of central Texas, so like the middle of nowhere. It's not uncommon for wildlife to basically be all over the place. And I went to bed one night, and I woke up, and there were just trenches dug everywhere.
I need hydration. How are you doing? Did you get drinks?
I'm fine because I found a pomegranate juice.
Okay, I'm just gonna take a drink here. All right, we're doing better. All right, we're gonna go to the resort now. I think enough time has passed. We're like looking at 22 minutes left.
Yeah.
What's our extract again? Probably tunnel.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Oh!
Whoa! Shot. Oh,
Never mind.
I'm dead. Hold on, I want to see if I can see that guy on the. Oh yeah! Wow.
He was up on the hill, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sucks.
He must have heard the shots and knew where we killed that dude. All right, I gotta read. I was kind of like glancing. So, from animals that need, I read that, and yes, animal that dies of stress will have less tasty meat. Yeah, okay, yeah. It's very dry meat, and so often that it falls apart. It's more often wild boars here, not hogs. Well, I think wild boars and the wild hogs are kind of similar, like not exactly, but like wild hogs, from what I understand, they can be really big, like hundreds of pounds.
Hold on, you need to check the kill feed.
Okay, I got 3 kills.
I got 2.
You can see
I
the
guess-
distance too of your longest kill. My longest
Oh,
kill
yeah.
was 168 meters. I wonder what that kill was.
My longest kill was 172 meters.
Oh man, what would my kill been? And oh, did we kill different people?
Maybe.
Because there were 2 scavs. Maybe I killed
Were
the
you
first
shooting
one.
Were you shooting at the one on the beach?
Yeah, there was a guy there. I shot at him. It looked like he walked away, but maybe I dropped him, and then another guy walked up after that. So maybe there were 2.
So what was happening was you and I were shooting. I could have sworn, bet money that you and I were shooting at the same guy, but I watched him, and you were like, oh, I hit the guy, and I literally saw him go in the prone animation because my scope went so far that I had basically the perfect picture of him, and he had his gun down. And I was like, nope, bang, and I shot him.
Is Pug still in chat? I don't see him in chat. Did he give up? Oh no, he is. Never mind. Sorry, Pug. Sorry, Pug. We're gonna switch over to Dota, guys. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this. So I'm curious with this one because I'm trying to think of the kills, right? So we go back. This guy was the guy that we killed. Was the most? This is the most recent kill, right?
The longest shot, or
no, the one that was firing back at us, right?
Oh yeah,
That
I think it'd be the bottommost one.
Yeah, the bottom is the most recent, like the one that happened right before we died. That one was for sure the one in the village. What was this one?
So you killed one guy that was like up in your face on the hill.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So I did not get that kill.
Yes! Ah! Nailed it.
Was that dude 168 meters away? The one that I shot that was firing back at us? He was really that far away?
Or are you thinking about the one you killed?
Because the other 2 were close up. The other 2 were way close up. The one guy that with the pistol was within 10 meters. And then the other guy in the village was within 15.
So the guy that you were shooting at shortly before we got killed was probably the 168 meters.
Yeah, but that didn't seem that long though. I guess it was. That's interesting.
It was pretty. That's why I was like, dude, that's a far shot. Like with just a red dot.
All right. And then we got murderized by, who was the guy? One Wing Angel. Okay, he didn't have a dumb name, so you know what? I'll give him that one.
I mean, he's using an X for an E, so.
Yeah, it's a little dumb.
And it's a Final Fantasy VII reference.
But it's not like a racial, like...
Oh, well, yeah.
So...
You say dumb, and that's what I think of, but when you bring that up, that's more just like...
Or, I've got a big dong, or something like that, you know? Admit it, you've seen names like that, come on.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make my name. I have a big dong when we go into Dota.